Hey legends, and welcome back to the least knowledgeable sim racing channel, where we're taking the hits so you don't have to. If you're familiar with this channel, you likely know of our past videos dealing with Project Cars 3, Slightly Mad Studios, and Codemasters. Much to my, and I'm sure your surprise, I wasn't offered a preview copy of the upcoming Project Cars 3 like many of my contemporaries. Well, I can't fathom why that would be. The net effect is that I unfortunately couldn't give you guys a direct insight into how it plays. Therefore, I've decided to go back on my past resolution and intend to purchase the game on release day, primarily so you guys don't have to. Because the game is called Project Cars 3, which stands for Community Assisted Racing Simulator, which was originally bankrolled by the hardcore sim racing community, as well as being supported by press releases from the developers talking about how it's all the sim we could want, it stands to reason that this game is attempting to appeal to the hardcore sim racing audience which launched it. And therefore, we're going to review it as such. Well, I believe that this is rather odd, given their recent decisions to omit tyre temperatures, pit stops, tyre wear, and focus their development efforts around getting the game to feel better on controllers. This would lead me to believe that they're aiming the game at a more casual audience. However, their press materials and insistence on keeping the Project Cars 2 name, which of course is synonymous with hardcore sim racing, means that they're still vying for the purchases of the sim racing community, which coincidentally is largely what this channel caters to. While I think it would make far more sense to brand this as a casual, arcade racing game, SMS insists that it has something for everybody. So as a sim racing focused channel, we will of course be focusing our review from the perspective of a hardcore sim racing audience, and seeing how this game stacks up to its contemporaries such as Assetto Corsa Competizione and rFactor 2. This is a bit of a strange one for myself, as I love busting out my controller and playing through the old Gran Turismo games on occasion. I'd hoped to review Project Cars 3 in a similarly casual fashion, given that its recent development suggests this is the sort of gameplay it's catering toward. However, the developers insist that this game contains all the simulation we could want, and it's maintaining its sim racing roots title, so it's clear that they would rather I test it out using a direct drive wheelbase, load cell pedals, and compare it directly to the industry leaders in racing physics such as RF2 and ACC. The upcoming release of Project Cars 3 is super exciting for those like myself who purchased Project Cars 2 at full price. The game launched with a ton of content, but a smorgasbord of issues, such as the vast majority of its cars not feeling right and a forced feedback system that was never really dialed in. Like most sim racing titles that have continued development, I anticipated that the developers would incrementally patch these out and give their customers their money's worth. Instead, they opted to release a handful of monetized DLCs while never really touching the baseline issues. I feel a lot better now though, because they've reassured us that Project Cars 3 will indeed be a hardcore simulator, so surely they will have finally addressed these issues. While it's an interesting move to make your community pay for them all over again in a new game, I'm sure it's going to live up to all of our expectations. Given that the deluxe edition of Project Cars 2 still costs $126 on Steam 3 days before the release of its sequel, means that Slightly Mad Studios really believe in the value of their games. We're only a few days away now, and despite the preview copy omission, there are no hard feelings, so I'm going to shell over my hard-earned money for a full-price release copy of the game to make sure I can give you a review that's completely honest and unrestrained. So until then, make sure to smash the sub and ring the bell so you don't miss it. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.